Hello, hello, hello.
Friday.
It's Friday. Friday. You know what that means, folks? It's time for Week's End.
With Ryan and Graham and all of our nerdy shit.
Nerdy shit.
Oh my God, I think that's the first time I ever got you to swear on camera.
I don't know about that.
I've been trying, what is this, 50 shows at this point? I've been trying this whole time.
All right. Well, the gloves are off, people. Not only is it Friday, but it's Friday. We're going to jump right into Let's the hell have we been?
Where
have we been the last 2 weeks? And all of our fans have been
Were you hunting bison on a beach? What is that?
No, these are the wild horses of Corolla in the Outer Banks, North
Who's going to ride your wild horses?
This is how I know we're brothers from another mother, because that was the only song I could sing for like 3 days, and nobody knew what I was singing. Yes. I was like Bono, baby.
Take me with you on vacation next time, you prick.
I know, right? It was a bunch of dudes, and we're like, "Is Graham cool enough?" No, sorry.
No, I'm not cool enough. We know that. I'm not. I'm only cool enough to stay in this room. I actually haven't left this room in let's see. I think it's been 10 years. I don't know. I don't get out much, folks.
But this was my visceral reaction to riding in the back of a Honda Ridgeline on a beach. That was the only way to reach the neighborhood that we were going to visit, the brother of the guy that we were hanging out at. But just look at this. This looks like we're on another planet, right?
I got to tell you, that looks like a lot of fun.
And the only thing, though, is that I'm going to switch gears and show you a different view. Still unbelievable, unbelievable. However, this one's unbelievable.
Oh my
Horses are unbelievable.
Who's gonna ride your wild horses?
Here was the problem.
I promise I won't do it again.
There was also a bunch of like crazy people parked on the beach, including some wonderful people that had a fuck Biden flag the size of their truck.
Oh, that's cool. Did you piss on it? Now, I do enjoy these photos.
Yeah.
So I decided to live vicariously through your vacation. You know, every time you go on vacation, I send you photos of me crying or really sad or telling you how much I miss you, all of which is true. This time I decided, no, he should have taken me with him because it looks like he's having a lot of fun, and that's not fair. And I'm stuck in this fucking room. So I decided that I would insert myself into. So this picture is me terrified of a giant oversized drink. I'm not supposed to be little. It's supposed to be giant. And that is because I know, Ryan, I am familiar with your penchant for imbibing in the alcoholic drinks, and I know some of them can be rather large. So that
this was large pint glass and flavor. This was custom, baby. Mango. We had mango. We had something called monk fruit. Do you know what?
What's the matter? You don't like it a mango?
Do you like monk fruit? You ever heard of monk fruit? I guess monk fruit. This is why I was trying to say that this drink was healthy. This has no syrup in it. It has something called monk fruit, which I guess is low in.
I've literally never heard of that in my life. Is that some weird thing you Southerners created?
No,
to try to differentiate yourself from
this was the fancy low sugar mixer that I found for margaritas at the fresh market. So you have to put your pinky out when you're drinking it. You were all over the place.
Well, this was amazing. Now, the only thing that's been modified in this photo is that I was digitally inserted into it. The sea monster is 100% real. Obviously, my disappointment here, I want to be clear, my disappointment is not the cheesy art in the upper window. And it's not even the bomb. My disappointment is, why are you drinking Natty Light? Like, what are you doing, Ryan? You people should be better with your beers than that. And then, of course, this was just me terrified of the giant RAB, which my understanding attacked the beach and many people were killed.
Yes, that is all true. Now, I was jealous of you because while I know the beach is awesome, but you got the chance to go in and do something else that we both love, which is go and you had a video shoot. And but the only downside, I guess, was no salty snacks.
So it was a lot of fun to go in the office. I had not been there since May of 2020 was the last time I was there when I picked up some of the video equipment. And I went in to film a video this time. It was pretty dark and scary, but it was nice to be there. It wasn't even like, oh, it was depressing because nobody was there. It was encouraging because like it felt like it's ready for us to come back. only problem is no peanut M&Ms, no snacks, no food anywhere. But that doesn't matter. We had a ton of fun, and it was great to film the video.
Well, here's my worry. I saw you've been seeing all the news about supply chain issues with like the price of cars is going to go up because of the chip shortage and things like that. I read something today that was more horrifying than not being able to find a new Honda or a new PS5, and that is the supply chain may disrupt the manufacture of potato chips. So I don't know, man. You got to brace for impact on that one. Talk to me about the arcade museum, because you did do some cool stuff. It wasn't on a beach, but it was in an arcade.
So I was supposed to do something also cool that was outdoors. I was supposed to go on this grand ATV adventure. I had rented a trailer. I had done all this stuff, and it hadn't rained in Massachusetts or New England in weeks and weeks and weeks. And then as soon as that like struck 4 o'clock on Friday, right before the long weekend, it decided it would start raining and not stop raining until early Tuesday morning when we all went back to work. So it was like, what kind of cruel joke is this? So ATV adventure was canceled, and we decided to go to the American Classics Arcade Museum in Laconia, New Hampshire. You can follow them at arcade_museum. It is an absolutely incredible place. They have over 250 playable machines. So museum is a bit of a stretch if you think about what a museum is. This is more like an arcade where you can actually play. But I still think the word art museum fits because they have a few displays, but really it's just a museum where you can touch everything. It's great.
Well,
not
great.
each other, just the machines. Right. And so, you know, my highlight of the day was Road Blasters. You can see me jammed into that machine up there. It is a fat guy in a little machine, but I really enjoyed playing Road Blasters. This is the beautifully iconic control labels for Computer Space, which is the first cabinet arcade game, which they actually have one there. They actually have it there.
So here's a question. We went to the arcade museum in Berlin. I want to know, my second part of the question is, how does it compare? But there was a green cabinet at the arcade in Berlin that looks similar to what you had in your montage. Is that the same game you're talking about?
It could be. It's very possible that it is. There were also a lot of Soviet machines that look like that. So the one in the upper right corner, my friend Kevin Hoffman is playing there. That is Computer Space.
Okay.
And it is essentially, it's asteroids. I mean, it's very pew pew pew, like the ship goes around. It's very basic, but it's the first. And so this is where I'm saying, like, museum still fits. Now, how does it compare to the Computer Museum in Berlin? Well, that's a little bit of apples and oranges, because this is an arcade museum, that is a computer museum. I'm not saying you're stupid. My point is that it's just two very different sets of types of technology. However, the one in Berlin is more of a museum. There was a lot of stuff we could play, a lot of video games, a lot arcade games, a lot of consoles. Yeah. I remember playing Moon Patrol for like 20 minutes in that 70s room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Those rooms that replicated like different decades.
Those rooms were the best.
You know, but not just the games, but everything on the shelves in the room. It was awesome.
But everything on the shelves. You know, the thing I like about the American Classics Arcade Museum is, as soon as you enter and you like turn to the left and you're actually in it, it looks, it smells, it sounds, dude, you are in the 1980s. You have been transported back in time. I mean, just look at that image to the left. Yeah, look at that one there. That's like when you go in, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And so it's all arcade cabinets. So the big difference is the one in Berlin had, like, you know, different types of, like you said, computers, consoles, things of that nature. Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is just cabinets and pinball, and over 250, 300 machines. 99% of them work. Probably about 70% of them, maybe 50%, work very well. The rest of them are pretty tired. They're really old. It's a nonprofit. They don't charge people to go in. They work by donation. So they don't have endless money to fix all these machines and keep them running perfectly. But I don't care. I'm not going there to try to beat the Donkey Kong high score. I'm going there to see my old favorites, feel like I'm transported back in time, check out some games that I didn't even know existed, and just have a blast. And I'm an Atari fanboy, so it's just the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there's certain nostalgia to that, right? Like it's got to be the same as what you remember it. Sometimes that means that you're going to be frustrated by the controls, but that was part of the gig. You put the quarters in, you take a chance.
Yep.
All right, that is awesome. I'm jealous. I'm ready to go back to a barcade. I remember us going to the one in Orlando when we were last there, and that was just a blast.
Dude, so much fun.
All right. We've heard a lot about Hot Girl Summer, which I still don't quite know what that means because we're like Gen X dude crew, but I'm here to declare that over Memorial Day weekend, I invented something called Hot Llama Summer.
Okay.
Let me explain. You're
going to have to explain because the images in my head right now are very unpleasant.
Well, yes. Maybe that's an unfortunate. Maybe that's yes. Okay. Definitely need to explain. So I, in my naivete, had not even thought of that angle. However, you go to the Divine Llama Winery in East Bend, North Carolina. That's kind of in BFE of outskirts of Winston-Salem. It's between Winston and there's some mountains around there. Pilot Mountain in particular is pretty famous. Hanging Rock. But anyway, they have a functioning llama farm and a winery combined into one. So you can go drink. They have like 20 different wines that they make there, which are 3 of them are delicious that I tried. And then they have literally a llama farm, which these creatures are majestic and terrifying. And I don't know. It was really cool to see them up close and personal.
I love llamas.
But we were afraid they would spit on us. The good news is, like, this guy wanted to pose for my photo, and I'm literally this close to him. Like, I could almost feel him breathing on me. When another llama tried to come in and encroach, and they would like get up on each other, and their necks are so weird how they move, he spit on the other llama to keep him away. He didn't want him in the shot. This is a llama influencer, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm 100% serious.
A llama influencer.
That's what I'm saying.
I have a very quick funny llama story for you before we go on to Roy here.
Yeah.
When I was in Peru hiking Machu Picchu with my dad in 2014, the bus we were on that took us from Cusco, I think it was Lima's on the coast, Cusco to the area below Machu Picchu. We stopped at one point because the bus ride was hours and hours and hours, and people had to go to the bathroom. And it was sort of in the middle of nowhere. And so I had to relieve myself, and I went behind this little house. And it was crazy because you're looking out over this unbelievable valley with the Urubamba River at the bottom and all this amazing stuff. And I'm sitting there going, and I look over to my right, and there is this llama, and he's just standing there like watching me, like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, they're super
chill. Soaking wet.
They're super chill.
I peed with a llama. That's my big story.
Well, that's good.
That's it. That's my story.
That
was my hot llama summer moment.
So my whole thing is the llamas are super chill. It's almost eerie how quiet and sort of, I don't know. It's like you don't know if they're just super zen or if they're plotting against you.
Yeah.
So that's the danger, I guess.
Yeah.
So as you know, Memorial Day. So Memorial Day weekend, again, I was traveling. You were doing stuff. I wanted to just give a shout out because one of the reasons I was traveling was for a funeral. My great aunt passed. Piney Slate was 97. What we discovered, though, in celebrating her life and really seeing a lot of family that not only had I seen not seen for the last year and everything, but even beyond that, I unearthed this picture of one of her relatives, a guy named Roy Darnell. Her mother's family was the Darnells. They're in King, North Carolina. And there's just this it was a postcard. So on the other side, it was mailed. This is Roy Darnell from World War I, and he's posing for this portrait, which I just thought was kind of epic.
So this is a great photo. I mean, first of all, look at the leg wrappings that they're gaiters essentially that supposed to keep the mud out of his boots. But also notice the photographer's flat in the background. You can see the seam of it at the bottom, and he's got just a slightly freaked out look on his face, like the photographer just said something kind of like weird or silly.
Yeah.
But this is a really great shot. Look how perfect his uniform is. Now, interesting that his shoulder I forget what these are called. Not doesn't matter. See how they're just a little bit curled up, which tells me that it was probably warm or humid outside wherever he was. But that's a really and his hair is perfectly trimmed. The hat is at its perfect angle. Hands are, I mean, the boots are perfect. That's a heck of a shot, my friend.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we just unearthed all these old photos. There's tons of photos from the homestead. Just amazing photos of like them having these huge picnics outside. And then this is one of the men in my family that served. My grandfather also, there's some great photos of him. And we talked about that on a previous week's end of him serving in World War II. So just, good vibes all around.
Yeah.
And great way to reflect on Memorial Day. That is really where we've been, folks. I think we want to talk about, dude, we want to have a section on memes this week. You had tweeted something about your, the eternal struggle of, and I know exactly what you're saying, of when someone comes in the room and what's for dinner, but yet they don't want to decide, or they want something different from their brother, or all that. So I instantly identified with this one.
Well, if you click through to that, it's Picard from the famous episode The Inner Light, which if you're a Next Generation fan, you would know. And he's saying, "Oh, it's me. I'm the someone."
Yeah.
And you know how it is, dude. You know how it is with teenagers. It's always it's always a struggle to get.
This is what's going to happen as soon as we get off the broadcast today. Is we're going to, like, I don't want to go downstairs and have this conversation. That's what it is every day.
That's right.
So I had a little bit of a response, just to poke fun. I just want to pat myself on the back for having one funny joke this entire year.
Now, this I thought was unbelievably hilarious. This was spit take, seltzer on the floor funny to me. And I think somebody even said, like, this is the best tweet ever. I mean, this was hilarious. And again, an iconic moment. If you are familiar with The Next Generation, this in a particularly incredible episode, by the way.
This is classics. But the funny thing is,
was just so funny.
I mean, this is arguably maybe not worse than the treatment that Picard got from, at the hands of the Borg, but this is one of the most horrifying, like, torture kind of things that happens in Star Trek lore.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it is about my brain. I have this kind of joke come in my head all the time. Like,
it sounds. I know the problem with your brain. It's called you're a creative humorist.
Well, there you go. I didn't know it had a name, but I got that disease.
Well, I'm a doctor. Well, I played one. Well, I'm not a doctor, but when I was 11, I was the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors at the Center for the Arts Theater in Northampton, Massachusetts. And I believe that qualifies me to make diagnoses as such of what I have just done.
Oh, it does. One of my favorite other memes this week, and I know it was yours too, was folks were retweeting a photo showing that they were a fashion icon in their youth. I caught wind of it from Alex.
Look at Alex. That's great.
I mean, that is great, right?
And yeah, dude.
I had to respond to him with, again, this is like an Olin Mills portrait with another fake backdrop that I dug up while I was looking through the photos with the family this past weekend. So that's.
Can I point out something very interesting?
Do it.
So you're seated in almost the same way.
Right.
You're holding your hands in almost the same way as as Roy. He's got a background from the photographer that's obvious. You have a background from the photographer that's obvious.
Yeah.
The pants all you need to do is put gaiters on your pants and you're ready for combat.
You're right. You're correct. And I have what appears to be dome, impenetrable hair,
Yeah, that is practically the helmet that the people who fire the turbo laser on board the Death Star wear. I mean, that is that is helmet head.
That's almost impressive. Like Spaceballs worthy. Yeah.
That is that's the kind of helmet you expect people to be wearing when you're surrounded by assholes.
But you know what? If you look at hipster fashion now,
no, Ryan, No.
This is coming back.
No, you cannot justify this as okay. It was okay
Jean
then.
Jean jackets are coming back, my friend.
Dude, people have post-traumatic stress disorder from haircuts like this.
You know what? My mother actually does. I found all of her school pictures like every year.
And that fruit striped shirt isn't helping either. It's only good for about 15 seconds.
She had that haircut, and she talks about how her father, my grandfather, would give them the haircut, cut the bangs across in a very fierce way, and they would cry afterwards. So yes.
I want to cry. I am crying, but I wouldn't cry at this. This is the very height of fashion, folks. This is jean jacket, matching jeans, an awesome tie-dye, and to tie it all up, the fanny pack. This is an American Werewolf in London. That's what that is. I am in Trafalgar Square. Right. I am standing on Nelson, I think it is Nelson's, whatever. I don't even know if I'm right about that, but I know where this is. And I know I remember being there. I was with my friend Rupert. We were hightailing it through the city, having a blast together. And this is my fanny pack fashionista. I was a trendsetter, folks. I was a big deal. I don't know how to tell all of you that, but it's true.
Well, I'm putting the label on it, fashion icon. So one thing I want to make note of is jean jackets are making a big comeback right now. If you're like into the fashions. So you were before your time. They were a big deal back then, but they're starting to become a big deal now. And I don't know if you saw this, but there's a photo circulating of our vice president, Kamala Harris, wearing a jean jacket this week. And the funny caption I saw, which I shamelessly ripped off, was, this is her, I really care, don't you jacket.
Nice.
And it's got rainbow.
It's
rainbow. It's rainbow sparkles and all that for, fittingly so for Pride Month.
I love it.
Let's talk about
what's next.
This. I don't know if this is a meme or not. This is a personality test. So I thought it'd be fun for you and I to reveal what personality, traits this is going to bring out in us. And the question is, folks, all right. Does this invoke Pixar movie in your imagination or Twilight Zone episode in your personality? And I want you to go. You to go first and explain why.
Well, show us the image.
Oh, I'm not showing an image. Darn it. Thanks, folks.
Okay, I am going hardcore Twilight Zone on this. This is very Talking Tina, and so I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. I have been since I saw Time Enough at Last when I was a kid, and my mind was thoroughly changed forever as to the concept of what writing could be for television and film. And every New Year's, Sci-Fi Channel does a big Twilight Zone marathon. I always watch it. I'm sure we talked about this. I look at this and I see the only way you could make this more Twilight Zone than Pixar is if you turn this into a black and white photograph. Then it's Twilight Zone.
Oh, for sure. Well, I can see
this bear is going to kill you and your whole family.
I see it in black and white.
You see it in black and white, man. This bear is there to kill you. You see it in color. It's a Pixar movie. It's and Woody and Buzz are rescuing Lovey the bear from being thrown out, and that's the whole Toy Story 10 movie.
Yeah, you can't trust him because it's the sweater. So I'm going with Twilight Zone episode as well.
It's the sweater.
I'm not the Twilight Zone super fan. You are. However, I see this as, once you put your arm in there, you're going to lose that arm.
You're not getting it back. Either that or it's going to like pull you into bear world and you're going to suddenly, I don't know, dude, this is just, there's something horrible.
Like you're going to be transported into the world of the box and it ain't going to be Pixar, baby.
Yeah.
Word. All right. We got one more subject here that I'm excited about. We want to talk a little bit about TV stuff, not too in depth. However, you love to talk about Thors Day every week, which I enjoy seeing. But this Thursday, this week, was kind of mind-blowing with this pic from the last day of shooting with Mr. Thor himself and the director of the film, who I guess say the director's. Do you know how to say the director's name? Always.
No, it's just pathetic. I have no idea, and I should know because I adore him and his work and his characters.
It should be up to us. It should be up to us to learn it. So maybe we should make that a homework assignment. Anyhow.
Okay, let's do that.
Dude, look just step back and look at Mr. Hemsworth for a minute. I'm a full grown man. I can appreciate this.
Oh, I didn't realize that's who this was. I thought this was a picture of you and me.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right.
You know what, dude? It's so hard to tell sometimes.
It is hard to tell. Well, the black and white, I mean, this is like you and I, if we were like hosting a morning show a la Community, maybe.
Exactly. If this was in color, it would have been obvious. I thought this was us. But yeah, dude, no, they look amazing. They were wrapping principal photography wrapped on Thor, Love and Thunder just a few days ago. I'm sure they're heading into the editing process now, obviously, but this just looks awesome. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on here. So first of all, they're clearly in some sort of spaceship, and if you look really, really closely, it looks like some of the ships that we saw in Ragnarok, in terms of the colors and fonts and some of the design. Also, look at Thor's t-shirt. Yeah. Totally.
Okay, look at the t-shirt first.
And he's obviously Krang, I think is the name,
Yep.
Hello, new Doug.
The rock monster, yep.
Yeah, because you could see the head up there, and he's obviously doing the motion photography. He's got the spots on his face and everything. But like there's just a lot going on in here. There's like I said, a handcuffs in the back. He's got this weird belt and all this stuff on. He's got that crazy t-shirt. Looks like Thor's holding a piece of armor, probably from Krang, but I don't know. But there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on here, dude.
Yes, I can't wait for this. I loved Thor Ragnarok so much.
It's so fantastic.
I just can't wait.
I agree, dude. I agree. It's a great movie.
We aren't going to talk about it, but we will talk about it on a future episode. But Loki's getting ready to come out. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Very excited for Loki. Let's put that on. Let's put that on the next agenda, because they are saying that show is going to dramatically shape everything else that comes out about from the MCU. They're also saying the new Doctor Strange movie is unlike anything we've ever seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there's a lot of great stuff happening. I think people kind of felt like, after Endgame, it sort of ended, or there's not really going to be anything as good, or it's just going to be a bunch of kind of loose film. Like it's never going to nothing compares to you. And that's not the case. I honestly think in some ways, I think the best is yet to come. And I think we're going to see some really great stuff.
Without a doubt. I feel like they've proven that the MCU is not just going to be recycled more of the same, and they're taking it in some interesting directions. And that's, I mean, on the small screen and the large screen. So I'm here for it. I wanted to talk about one thing. Did you watch, since we talked about Zack Snyder and Snyderverse and all that so much this past spring and winter, he has a new film that he made with his wife kind of almost secretly for Netflix called Army of the Dead. It's a zombie film.
I haven't watched it yet.
I recommend it. It's a mixed bag. I want to see what you think. So let's put a pin in that for a future episode as well.
I'll watch it tonight. I have nothing to do, so I'll watch it tonight. And I mean, I'm extremely popular, and I have an immense amount of busy stuff going on tonight. Nightclubs to visit, famous people to hang out with, celebrities. But in between all my amazing Friday night plans, I'll watch Army of the Dead, because honestly, dude, I'll watch 2 hours of Dave Bautista reading Little Women. And like, I don't care. I mean, he's just fantastic. So
he is. He's a force of nature, and it might be better. It might be better high. So we'll see.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you watch? I know you. I didn't care about this Friends reunion. That's all anybody of a certain age.
I didn't care about Friends. Period.
I watched Friends.
It's a garbage show then. It's a garbage show now.
Okay, that's a hot take. And I actually liked it when I was watching it, and then decided it wasn't worth rewatching. Like that's my bar. Am I going to ever go back to the material? Seinfeld, I will keep it on the TV anytime it comes back on, and I automatically get sucked back in. Same thing with Community. Same thing with Parks and Rec. Same things with a lot of those kinds of shows.
MASH.
I will never rewatch Friends.
No, because it's garbage. And look, dude, there was a time where it was relevant, and there was a time where it was popular. But I think you got to remember that must-see TV Thursday nights was like a hangout.
Yeah.
And that was the thing back then, and everybody watched Friends and everybody talked about Friends, and you did it with your friends. Now, it may have also been that we were the right age for it, or part of that generational time, but
yeah,
like in its time and place, I get it. But in my humble opinion, I may have gotten into the social aspects of it, but I always thought it was a garbage show. I thought it was crappy writing. It was campy acting. Everything was forced. They tried too hard. And I still think that. And so I had no interest in watching that reunion. Now, I have watched a lot of the, we talked about them early on when we were doing Week's End. I watched a lot of the Reunited Apart things that Josh Gad did. Yeah. And I love that. I love watching people get together and talk about old stuff, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, stuff like that. But like Friends?
Yeah.
But we are the minority in this, buddy. There are millions and millions and millions and billions of people who live.
I think you're right. It was sort of.
I get it. I'm a Trekkie. I get it.
She was in the moment, yeah.
But I get it. I mean, you watch some Star Trek, and I mean, there's a lot of Star Trek. It's not good, dude. Right. But like Trekkies don't care because
so here's
the sets
and that's
and everything else.
It's a good thing you mentioned that. So I've been trying to rewatch both Voyager and now Enterprise at the same time somehow, and I've kind of hit a wall with both of them.
You will hit a wall,
So
you will, and you can try to push through. It's kind of like with DS9. Deep Space Nine was an amazing series, and then they just started going like all this whole weird religious thing with the Dominion or whatever the hell it was called, and then it just was like,
you know what? And I will tell you I never finished DS9. It's the only Trek series that I didn't watch start to finish.
Don't bother. Voyager, you could finish. Next Generation, you can finish. Original series, you can finish. But even with the movies, like, I love the movies, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5, 6. Like, oh my God, Generations. But after that, they're really bad films. Like, and it's okay to admit that they are bad movies. I mean, it's like Indiana Jones.
The Star Trek conventions, man. That's what's
really
going on.
But it's like Indiana Jones. You like Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of the greatest films, action movies ever made. Just period. Like hard stop. I understand Lucas and Spielberg copied a lot of stuff. I don't care. It's fine. Temple of Doom was really, really great, but had some like questionable stuff in it.
Yep.
Last Crusade was good, but was also like very kind of forced and campy. And they started to get into that like shitty dialogue between him and the blonde professor, doctor, whatever she was.
It was almost like they were looking through the fourth wall with it. And I think they were trying to bring in, it was successful.
Connery was great.
Right. But it was successful at the box office because I think they were like dragging in like it was like a hype machine. Because it wasn't the same.
It was, and then you had Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally,
so
no
why
joke.
In the hell are they doing?
And they're
5?
making another one.
They had just announced a bunch of cast calls last week.
I know, and I think it's because they think they're going to redeem themselves for the failure that was Crystal Skulls, and I don't think they can. I think it's going to be the same garbage.
Yeah, but is Harrison Ford's head going to be in a jar? Like, how do you do this?
No, there's only one way in which I think this could work, and the only thing that gave me hope was his performance in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
2049?
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? If I don't have the number right, it's Friday and I'm tired. But his performance in that was excellent. True. So I actually, he is a good actor. Like, I do believe he could be an old, aging, that I belong in a museum Indiana Jones. Like, it's possible.
But it just can't be.
It's not going to be swashbuckling like it was. It
can't be passing the torch to Shia LaBeouf or some crap like that.
No way.
That's a huge mistake.
That was a huge mistake, and that was all forced. It was it's kind of like Wall Street 2. Like, you want to talk about a movie that should never have been made. Oh my God, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. You want to see a film that never should have been made? Go watch that flaming pile of garbage.
I'll do you one better. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2.
No, that's not a real thing. You're making that up.
I know you can only find it on VHS. It's not even on streaming platforms.
You can only find it on VHS.
My father has the VHS, and he made me watch it like 2 years ago.
Oh my god!
It is literally Randy Quaid in, or is it Dennis or Randy? One of those the Quaid guy from National Lampoon's Vacation. He's down in the Caribbean. He's drunk on camera the entire time, and it is god awful. I think they recalled all the films and tried to burn them all from existence.
Sounds like it.
All right, we're down to the rant of the week, so I got to give you the mic.
My rant of the week is that I am going to take a leave of absence from social media. Now, that does not affect my involvement in I know that does not affect my involvement in this show. I will continue to do this with you because I enjoy hanging out with you, Ryan, once a week. And if we lived in the same town, we'd be doing this probably Wayne and Garth style in your basement. But
hell yeah,
we totally would. But the thing is there's a few things. It's controlling me more than I'm controlling it, and I admit that. There's a lot of addictive tendencies in my family, and I can't put the phone down, and that's bad. There are way too many things in my life that are controlled by screens. My job. Yeah,
what?
dude. Yes,
Are you about done? I just
that's what I'm talking about, and it's just not working for me anymore. I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't know. I'm not seeing the benefit of it.
You're not spending enough time with Grogu. He's getting
I'm not. So I'm gonna tomorrow morning an announcement will go out on LinkedIn, Twitter, or on Twitter. I mean, LinkedIn will go dark for a little while. Discord is gone, Signal's gone. So I need to reevaluate why I'm doing it. Look, I know everybody makes a big announcement about taking a break from social media is back on like 2 days later. And maybe I'll be that guy. I don't know. I don't think so. I need to really take some time to think this through. The other thing is, quite honestly, I'll level with you, Ryan. I have steadily lost a hell of a lot more followers than I've gained. And I don't care about followers. What bothers me is if my posts and my frequency, which I think is probably the problem, is so off-putting that I'm losing people, then why bother to talk to the same 6 people it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. So I just need to reevaluate how I'm going to use it, why I'm using it, and why social. And maybe the answer is no social. I don't know. It might be, but we'll see.
Well, I think so. Here's what I'm going to say. First, I think this is smart. I think so my take here is it's healthy. I agree with you. I also, and I'm going to tell you folks why in a second here with a visual aid. I also think it's going to open up a wider conversation because I think we're overdue for reevaluating. I mean, and it's not just how politics is lit a match on social and all that, but it's sort of like a lot of people. I think we're at an inflection point.
I think we are too.
And people say that every year when there's new features that come out. That's not the point.
No. Dude, I walked away from Facebook years ago. I never looked back. I never needed it back. I walked away from Reddit. I never looked back. I never needed it back. But Twitter is a real important community to me. It matters a lot to me. I really enjoy the platform. I enjoy how it works. I enjoy the challenge of it. I find it to be a real challenge. In terms of formulating thoughts in 280 characters, in terms of sharing really relevant things, in terms of finding really great people to talk to. And I've also had a chance to engage with some really amazing people that there's no way I would ever get a chance to engage with them in real life. Hell, social media made you and I good friends, right? Besides our time at Big Blue. So, there's still a lot there for me. I just need to regroup as to, so like one of the image I'm putting up says closed for renovations. And you'll see that it'll go live tomorrow morning. It doesn't say I'm leaving social forever, or this account is being deleted, or I'm done, or blah, blah. It just says I'm closed for renovations. I need to kind of figure out who I want to be and what I want to do on this. And then maybe I'll come back. So yeah, that's what I'm at right now. And it's not just that. I've also got a video game group every Monday night. I'm walking away from that for a little while. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, and I got to think through some stuff.
It sounds like you're embracing your Luddite / hermit lifestyle for good. And the next step is going to be a homemade tiny house that you build in your backyard and your children never see you.
Is it bad that I already built that?
Oh, really? That's out by the bonsai tree? Okay, got it. Yep.
It is.
I thought it was a shed. I think you were concealing it, and there's going to be a big reveal, right? Okay.
We'll say it's a shed. We'll say it's a shed.
We'll say. Okay. I want to just show this. So here was my thought that when you told me this, we were talking about it for the last few days. This is something I shared about a week ago, and I've been having similar thoughts to you. Like, I identify with a lot of what you're talking about. And I don't know, more than a decade ago, when I first got into social, before it was like a day job or even a hobby or anything, we started having these in-person networking events. They were called tweet ups. A couple of people here that are shown, they had birthdays last week. I haven't talked to them in forever. It used to be that it was about social networking, not like me. And I think there's a problem with that in social. But like Jenny went from being like a, reporter at a local broadcast, NBC here in Raleigh, to being a community manager for Red Hat. And she's just transitioning out of that job, built a huge career out of community building. And Jazzy Chad, he went on to actually work as an engineer at Twitter itself after, so these folks are dear friends from back in the day, but it feels like we've lost that camaraderie to some degree. And I wonder if social audio is going to bring that back, like all the talking heads say it is, or if there needs to be a bigger, like you're talking about,
interesting,
a bigger thing of like, what should this platform be, and how are we?
What should it be? Dude, remember, one of the oldest photos I have of the two of us is from years and years and years ago, is the two of us at a social meetup. When we were at some event somewhere. Remember, you're like on your phone behind me, beard, showtime, and I'm like in front of you because it was it's so funny, but it was like such a big deal to finally meet you. And it's just like verbal vomiting all the time. Like, I don't know, dude, it's just not working for me anymore. And I really enjoy bringing the humor. It has been a major ADHD dumping ground for me. I mean, that's a terrible way to put it, but it helps me during the day to stay focused on my job by kind of offloading all the ADHD distractions, and I put them on Twitter and they're gone. Right. And so that's why I'm such a prolific tweeter. That's why my volume is so high. But if that's just pissing people off, then what am I doing? So I got to go. I got to go for a little while. I need to go be a hermit and then come out, and I will emerge as a better person, a better contributor, a better social society member. And I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, that process, a lot of that will be conversations with you. And I hope conversations on here, and maybe conversations on our new show, Shit Posting with Ryan and Graeme.
Yes. No, I'm excited about that, because I think there's some people that want to have these same conversations. There are people that work in the industry, whether that's like tech, big tech, or some of the social platforms themselves. So I want to close out the show. I know this one's run kind of long.
Yeah, we got to close out. We got to stop.
We were overdue. I want to give, just in this final segment, a shout out to Amber Naslin. She works for LinkedIn in her day job. She's also writing a book on imposter syndrome, and it's really interesting. She is like sharing like the ups and downs. I think it's awesome. I support her 100%. She also in the like emotional sort of way of like talking about writing a book and doing that process, invented a newsletter at the same time called Dear Fuckers. I think it is hilarious. It is awesome. If you would like to be entertained, or just like you said, talk about stuff that matters, go subscribe. So shout out to Amber.
Excellent shout out.
That's the show, folks.
Cool.
That's the show.
I'm gonna go put this Star Wars restraining bolt on my refrigerator to make sure it can't get away.
Show me, put that in the camera. I want to see that up close. Oh my God. That is awesome, dude. Where did you get it at ThinkGeek, or where?
The Regal Robot, and it's actually a magnet,
dude.
So I can literally put it on, and
I need one of those on my car. That is awesome.
Wait. Oh, it's not that. It doesn't work with the aluminum. But actually, it's funny. I thought about putting it on the back of my truck. I actually thought about that. That would be really funny.
All right, man. That is awesome. Thanks for being on the show. We're going to have some guests coming up that are going to be awesome, including a Lego super fan, including someone who's going to talk to us about the Blue Origin space program at Amazon about a month from now when they do, I believe, their first launch.
When they get their $10 billion that they shouldn't get. I shouldn't go there. I'm sorry.
We'll get into that. We got somebody with some insider knowledge who has been following along. So
that'll be a lot of fun.
Keep coming back, folks. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Bye.
Boom, boom.